Good morning. This is our last day in Hawaii, and the thing we haven't done yet, and is the thing you have to do in Oahu, is visit Pearl Harbor. In fact, yesterday or 2 days ago, they had the Pearl Harbor Parade in honor of the veterans. So we're gonna go check out the Arizona and the other battleships you can see in Pearl Harbor and all the history there.
We're gonna tell you about Pearl Harbor when we get there. The most beautiful rainbows are in Hawaii. Can you spot the rainbow? We make it to Pearl Harbor. So we make it to Pearl Harbor. We got here almost in time. And when we got here, we find out we cannot have the bags. So we had to take the bags back to the car. So now we are late for the tour. So Ben is going to see if it's still gonna take us on the tour. And they're probably gonna give us the headsets and stuff so we can go on the boat and see the Arizona.
Well, we were 15 minutes late getting to Pearl Harbor, and now we have to wait for the standby area opposed to taking our tour. So if you book your tour for the Arizona, be on time, because otherwise you gotta wait for standby. So normally the first thing you see when visiting the USS Arizona is a short film, but I guess they have it closed right now due to COVID. Masks are required at all times while on the naval base, because you are on a naval base right now. And here we go, taking the little boat out to see the USS Arizona. Here's our little boat that you take over to right about there. That's the USS Arizona. And here we go on our boat.
This is the USS Arizona Memorial. We're gonna go visit it right now. We had to take a boat. It cost us like $1 and you had to make a reservation to come see it.
And don't be late for your reservation.
Don't be late.
You gotta wait for standby.
We were on standby, but we didn't stay too long. So now we're on the boat and we cannot wait to go visit it.
We just entered the USS Arizona Memorial. It's a really beautifully designed building. I guess that's part of the ship you can still see. Outside the water there. You really can't see down into the water, but that's it, I believe. So here, this is the shrine building we're in right now. And this is how the boat sits. And this is a gun turret you can see hanging outside of the water there. Over here, if you look really carefully, you can see parts of the battleship in the water. The water's a little murky today from that big storm that went through last week. So another interesting thing about this site is most of these ships are still leaking oil from some of their engine compartments and other places. So there's always this little slick of oil and gasoline right on top of the water. Sort of sad to see. Look, it almost looks like it's coming up right there. That was weird. There's like a little bubble of oil just came up. There it is again, the little oil slick on the water from the oil still leaking out of the ships. So listening to the park ranger, she was talking about how the oil leaks out of the ship. It leaks out from over 200 different areas where it's encapsulated. And they find the best way to deal with it is just to wait to see where it comes up and then capture the oil and monitor it, because to go in would be just to basically release all the oil at the same time. Alright, so what you see there is the third turret of the USS Arizona. The Arizona lays across the memorial there. You see the flag always flies at half staff. This is a memorial engraved for almost 1,200 soldiers. So it's a really cool place to visit, get the history. And now we're going to go take the boat back over and see the rest of Pearl Harbor. There's many other exhibits and places to visit. There's markers for a lot of the battleships out here that were lost during the attack on Pearl Harbor. There's the marker for the USS Nevada. That one's not labeled right there.
That's Nevada marker. And I'm wondering, out of 2,403 people who died, how many there were from Nevada?
I don't know.
But there was 2,403 people died and 1,175 wounded.
So you can make your way around Pearl Harbor. There's many signboards detailing the battle, what ships were sunk, where they were, what ships were damaged. Really an interesting history of Pearl Harbor. There's an audio tour you can also take. So as part of these signboards is a timeline of how the attack unfolded, starting at 7:47 in the morning. The timeline of the attack. and the ships and when they were sunk. But mostly, this displays a memorial more than a history of war. And down here is the USS Bowfin, which you're allowed to walk out onto and take a little bit of a tour of. And I think that's where we're heading next.
We're at Pearl Harbor, and here they have a memorial for the people who died in 1941 when the Japanese attacked the Pearl Harbor, the Americans. So not that many Japanese people died, like 129, but 2,403 Americans died and 1,178 people were wounded here on that attack. And in the next day, the America went to the World War II.
The anchor recovered from the USS Arizona, and now it says a memorial. So big, these anchors. Crazy. And we're making our way down here to the USS Bowfin. So this is the entrance to see the Bowfin and the rest of the exhibits. It is $22 a person to go see it, open from 7 to 5. We only have about another 15 or 20 minutes here before we gotta go. So we're not gonna go and check it out, unfortunately. It would be cool to go check out that boat, the Bowfin. But we have to get our rental car returned and cleaned up and gassed up and all that for getting ready to leave tonight.
More than 4,000 submarines have their lost lives while serving in the U.S. Submarine Force. So sad.
2 American submarines and more than 3,600 submarines were
This memorial is to the submarines that were lost and other assets. The U.S. Wahoo, Talibi, Trout, Trident, Tang, Seawolf. So many subs were lost. Some of these were actually lost not during Pearl Harbor, but I think these are all the subs that were lost during World War II.
I'm wondering if anybody knows what happened with the wounded people. Like 1,178 was wounded. Are they dead now? They are still alive? Because I saw some veterans live on the...
There's very few World War II veterans left. Most of them are well into their 90s or 100s. So if you have time, the Pacific Fleet Submarine Museum is also here in the Pearl Harbor visitors area. It's $22 to visit, and you can take a tour of the USS Bowfin, which is a submarine right there. We don't have time today, so we are not going to do it, but I highly encourage you to check it out if you have more time here at Pearl Harbor. Other things you can visit here while at Pearl Harbor is the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum, Battleship Museum, Missouri Memorial, and there's a shuttle bus that will take you there out to Ford Island. So lots of stuff here to do here at Pearl Harbor. You can probably spend a whole day checking out the different museums and places, but we are just have an hour here this morning.
You jumped! Are you okay?
Oh, he got me, he got me.
Thanks, bro. You too, you little fucking Christmas bastard.
We're waiting to take
Fucking Christmas bastard.
Hold on.
Alright guys, this is the end of our Hawaii trip, the end of our night. That is the Royal Hawaiian behind us. We're taking one last walk around Waikiki before taking our flight home tonight. Thanks for watching till the end. If you haven't, please like and subscribe to our channel. Turn on your notifications so you know when our latest videos come out, and we will see you in our next adventure.